What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Dude Hines Show. We are just 1 week away from the 2022 NFL Draft. It does not seem like the draft is just this close. In my opinion, it's probably one of the fastest years ever with a draft season, so fast. This video, I'm only doing a mock draft 3.0. Last week, I did a mock draft 2.0, and it included trades such as the Carolina Panthers trading back and still getting Pittsburgh quarterback Kenny Pickett, and there was also a big trade as well with the Seattle Seahawks trading up with the Cincinnati Bengals and acquiring North Carolina quarterback Sam Howell. So in this mock draft, I don't have trades in this one. I'm just going to kind of do a normal one here because trades are too hard to predict. So let's go ahead and get started here. Obviously, with the first pick overall, the Jacksonville Jaguars, back-to-back years having the first pick, I would say it's a very good chance it's going to be Aidan Hutchinson. The past couple of weeks or so, there's been kind of been some rumors swirling. Possibly, maybe Trevor Walker could be in that mix as well for the number one pick. I don't really buy into that. I think that's just a smokescreen. But I have Hutchinson going first to Jaguars, pretty much like most people do. But Trevor Walker, I have him going second to the Detroit Lions. There's some people saying that it could possibly be Kayvon Thibodeaux, the edge rusher from Oregon, with the Lions. But I have Walker going here with the second. Kayvon Thibodeaux, I do have him going number 3 to the Houston Texans. Lovie Smith, their new head coach, he's a defensive-minded guy. And to me, I feel like this is an interesting situation here for the Houston Texans because I think they go Kayvon Thibodeaux, or they can maybe go offensive tackle. Maybe it's Ikem Ekwonu from North Carolina State, or maybe offensive tackle from Alabama, Neal. But I feel like if they take edge here at 3, they probably take offensive lineman with their second first-round pick. But if they take an offensive tackle here at 3, I think they probably go edge or maybe defense with their second first-round pick as well. As we continue here, 4th overall, I've had the Jets taking Sauce Gardner pretty much every single mock draft I've done here so far. I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets maybe take an edge rusher with the 4th pick if Kayvon Thibodeaux is available at number 4. I've seen some stuff. The Jets like Kayvon Thibodeaux and some of his edge rushers quite a bit. But if the top edge rushers are gone with Hutchinson, Trevor Walker, and Kayvon Thibodeaux are all gone by the 4th pick, I don't see the Jets reaching at number 4. I think they take the best player available. And that, I would say, in my opinion, that's probably Sauce Gardner, the corner from Cincinnati. That's a great pick for the Jets to really improve their secondary. Robert Saleh is a defensive-minded coach. He's going to get the best out of Gardner. I love that pick there by the Jets. The 5th overall pick, that belongs to the New York Giants. They have 2 first-round picks as well. They have pick number 5 and pick number 7. And I have them taking Ikem Ekwonu here, the offense tackle from NC State. Their offensive line has been atrocious, and that's been a big reason why Daniel Jones has been so bad these past couple of seasons. So I think any protection for him can go a long way in Daniel Jones's, career with the Giants. Number 6, I have the Carolina Panthers taking Kenny Pickett. Like I said, I'm not doing a trade in this mock draft. Like I said, last mock draft, I had them trading back to 12 with the Minnesota Vikings and still getting Pickett. I would not be shocked, though, if the Carolina Panthers trade back and still try to get Kenny Pickett because they don't have a second-round pick or a third-round pick. I'm sure they would love to trade back and try to get some more draft capital and still get a very nice quarterback and Pickett. So I'm just going to go ahead and have them take Pickett here at 6 overall. I like this pick, in my opinion. In my opinion, when you look at probably the top 5 quarterbacks, with Pickett, Willis, Matt Corral, Sam Howell, and Desmond Ritter, I think I like Pickett the most. I think he's the most pro-ready, and I think this would be a great pick here for the Carolina Panthers. As we continue here, like I said, the New York Giants have 2 top 10 picks, and this is their second first-round pick here. And they take Stingley Jr., the corner from LSU. I like this pick a lot here. There's rumors that they might be trading Bradbury, and their cornerback group has kind of been inconsistent this past couple of years. I think getting the best corner here available, and honestly, you can even make a case it's the best defensive player here available. I think that's certainly up for debate with him and Kyle Hamilton. I think they go Kyle Hamilton or Stingley Jr. here with the 7th pick of both are available. I have them taking Stingley Jr. as Kyle Hamilton is still on the board. As we head into the 8th pick, that belongs to the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons take wide receiver Garrett Wilson. I feel like the Garrett Wilson hype with Atlanta has really started to heat up as we get closer to the draft. And that is, one of the rumors I actually do kind of buy because the Atlanta Falcons have, no receivers. They need to get as many receivers as they possibly can in the draft. I mean, they have Kyle Pitts at tight end. They have Patterson, who can kind of play running back and wide receiver, but they need a true wide receiver. I think Garrett Wilson can be that guy for the Atlanta Falcons. Number 9, the Seattle Seahawks take offense tackle Evan Neal from Alabama. It's very interesting because if you look at mock drafts, let's say 3 months ago, Evan Neal was potentially number 1 pick in the draft. Now he's falling just a tad bit because, some of these other guys, have lots of hype around them, like Aidan Hutchinson, Ikem Ekwonu, some of those other guys as well. But I feel like Seattle, whether it's Drew Lock, Geno Smith, or maybe they draft a quarterback in the draft, whoever the starting quarterback is, they have to have a good offensive line. And I feel like, getting Evan Neal here with the 9th pick overall is a good start to try to improve their offensive line for the Seattle Seahawks. The 10th pick overall belongs to the New York Jets, and I have them taking Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton. I love this pick here. I mean, we're talking about the New York Jets having a very, very good offseason, and they draft Kyle Hamilton and Sauce Gardner. I mean, that, in my opinion, is probably best case scenario here for New York Jets. There's also some talks that they're in maybe some trade discussions of possibly trying to get Deebo Samuel, the wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. So if they would trade for Samuel, I doubt that the Jets would probably have this pick here. I feel like this pick would probably end up going to San Francisco. But, I mean, Sauce Gardner and Hamilton would improve this Jets secondary so much. I mean, I think they're both the best players at each of their positions. And the fact that you can get both of them is amazing picks here for New York Jets. As we continue with this pick here with number 11, the Washington Commanders, I have them taking Jameson Williams here, the wide receiver from Alabama University. If it wasn't for injuries, Jameson Williams, in my opinion, would probably be the first wide receiver taken in the draft. There is a chance he still might be, but I feel like, with his injury, people might want to draft a healthier Garrett Wilson opposed to a not as healthy Jameson Williams. So when you look at Williams going to the Washington Commanders, I think it makes a lot of sense. Curtis Samuel this past season was nowhere near what Washington thought he was going to be. He was hurt some, but even when he was healthy, he didn't do jack squat. Terry McLaurin, I think he's one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL, but he has a contract expiring relatively soon. And you don't know if that's going to, they're going to be able to extend him or not. So I think getting Jameson Williams here, getting more weapons for Carson Wentz would be very nice here for Washington with the 11th pick overall. As we continue here with the 12th pick, I have the Minnesota Vikings getting defensive tackle from Georgia, Jordan Davis. The Vikings have kind of not had consistent play at defensive tackle for the past couple of years now. Jordan Davis is without a doubt one of the best defensive tackles in this draft, one of the best defensive players here available. So I think this would be a great pick here for Minnesota by getting Jordan Davis with the 12th overall pick. 13, the Houston Texans take Charles Cross, the offensive tackle from Mississippi State. Like I said, if they take edge at 3, expect an offensive lineman at 13. And if they take an offensive lineman at 3, expect an edge rusher or defensive player at 13. It's the best offensive lineman, I would say, probably here available for the Houston Texans. I feel like this is probably best case scenario here for the Texans as well. Getting one of the best players in the draft at Kayvon Thibodeaux at 13, and also getting Charles Cross, without a doubt, the best offensive tackle available here with the 13th overall pick. You should be excited if you're a Texans fan because you get 2 very good players and you have so much draft capital as well, with the Deshaun Watson trade with the Cleveland Browns. As we continue here at 14, the Baltimore Ravens select Trent McDuffie, the corner from Washington. Last season they had lots of injuries at corner. And, the cornerback play, they have some nice corners, but I feel like they could use a little more help. And I think McDuffie was a good start to get, an improved secondary with the 14th overall pick. 15, I had the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Chris Olave, the wide receiver from Ohio State. And I know some Eagles fans might not like the Eagles getting a wide receiver this early or using a first-round pick on a wide receiver. But if you want to see the full potential of Jalen Hurts, give them all the weapons you possibly can. Because some Eagles fans are still not sold on Jalen Hurts. I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts. If you want to see if he can be the guy or not, give him, these top-tier weapons in the draft. You gave him Devonte Smith. Now give him another weapon, see what he can do. And if he doesn't work out, at least if you draft a replacement or if you sign or trade for a guy, he would already have nice weapons with Devonte Smith and Chris Olave. I like this pick here a lot. I think he's probably the best wide receiver here available with the 15th pick overall. In my opinion, I think it's a great selection here by the Philadelphia Eagles. As we continue here at 16, from the New Orleans Saints, I said this last week, and it's very interesting. I feel like when the Saints traded up, with the Eagles not too long ago, I feel like, with their trades, I think they're going to go offensive tackle. a wide receiver. I feel like if Trevor Penning is available at 16, that's maybe somebody to look at. With their 19th pick, if Penning is still available, or if there's a top wide receiver available who shouldn't be, maybe they'll go after them. But the fact that Malik Willis has still not been picked in this mock draft, I feel like the Saints are going to pull the trigger and kind of shock some people and take Malik Willis, the quarterback out of Liberty. I think Willis has a lot of potential, but when you look at, Kenny Pickett, he's playing against Clemson every single season. When you look at Malik Willis, he's played against some, big schools like NC State and some other schools like Virginia Tech, but he's not consistently playing against these big-time programs like Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral. I feel like the lack of competition that Malik Willis has played can maybe, affect him in the draft, how teams view him. And I'm not really sold on Willis compared to some of these other quarterbacks. But I think, with Willis being here at 16, I think the Saints might shock some people and take Willis with the 16th overall pick. As we continue here with a 17th pick, I had the Chargers taking Drake London, the wide receiver from USC. They have Mike Williams. They signed him to a 3-year extension. They have Keenan Allen, but he's kind of getting up there in age. And I think this Chargers team is one of the best teams in the NFL as we head into the 2022 season. If you get Justin Herbert, another weapon, that's going to be absolutely insane. It is interesting because when you look at the 17th pick, Devonte, Wyatt, and Trevor Penning are both still available here for the Chargers, and they could use defensive tackle and offensive tackle. But in my opinion, I feel like at this point in the NFL, offense wins championships. I mean, you could have a crappy offensive line and still go to the Super Bowl as long as you have a good quarterback and some great weapens. Look at the Bengals this past season. They did one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL and still managed the Super Bowl. This Chargers team, their offensive line is better than the Bengals last year, and they have pretty much just as good weapons as the Bengals had this past season. So there's no reason for me to think that the Chargers should go offensive lineman here. I think they take another weapon. They're getting Drake London here, the wide receiver from USC, with the 17th pick overall. Like I said, Wyatt was available, but he is taken by the Philadelphia Eagles with the 18th pick. I love this pick so much. It's probably one of my favorite picks here in the first round because Fletcher Cox is getting up there in age. He's not nearly as good as what he used to be. I would say maybe he has 1 or 2 years left. Devonte Wyatt can maybe be his replacement. And I just love this pick here for the Philadelphia Eagles because he's without a doubt the best defensive tackle available. And in my opinion, he might even be the best defensive player here available for the Philadelphia Eagles. And like I said, with the New Orleans Saints, I think they traded up to get Trevor Penning, but they took Willis because he was probably one of the best players available there. But Trevor Penning, I still have him end up going to the New Orleans Saints with a 19th pick overall. And it's interesting. I was watching some film on Trevor Penning the other day, and I just don't get what the hype around him is. He's coming from northern Iowa, and you watch some of his, plays and stuff like that, and you watch him at the Senior Bowl. He was not even really good at the Senior Bowl. One time he was able to play against some top players at some of these top schools. He did not really do much. And it doesn't really make sense to me that the guy from northern Iowa is going to be a first-round pick when he's probably one of the most overrated players in the first round. It's kind of weird to me. But I have the Saints taking him 19 there to be the replacement for Teron Armstead, with him signing with the Miami Dolphins. 20, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Cincinnati quarterback Desmond Ridder. I think this makes a lot of sense. The Steelers love Ridder, and I've seen some, mock drafts have Ridder taken before Kenny Pickett, and I've seen even a mock draft or two have him being took before Malik Willis, the quarterback at Liberty. The Desmond Ridder hype train is really starting to get going as we get closer to the draft. I feel like this is a scenario where the Steelers don't have to trade up and take Ridder, and they still get him at 20. I mean, that is an amazing pick there for the Steelers. I would say A-plus pick there, maybe have him set a year behind Trubisky and have him take over. But very good selection there by Pittsburgh with a 20th pick overall. The 21st pick, I had the New England Patriots taking Devin Lloyd, the linebacker from Utah. I think they could use a little bit more linebacker help, and Devin Lloyd is the best linebacker here available. One of the better players here available as well. 22, I do not have the Green Bay Packers taking wide receiver at 22. I have them taking Jermaine Johnson, the edge rusher from Florida State. The Packers can really use some help at edge and wide receiver. I feel like Jermaine Johnson is the better player available than opposed to a Traylon Burks, the wide receiver from Arkansas. So they take edge rusher here with the 22nd pick overall. 23, the Arizona Cardinals take Iowa center Tyler Linderbaum. They have Rodney Hudson, but I believe he missed 7 games last season, and he's getting up there in age, not nearly as good as what he used to be. So I think getting Linderbaum to be, his replacement would be good for Arizona because, the Cardinals had a decent season last year. They started off good, and then they ended kind of poorly, but their offensive line could still use some work, and I think getting Linderbaum with the 23rd pick overall would be great here for the Cardinals. 24, I have the Dallas Cowboys taking Boston College guard Zion Johnson. The Dallas Cowboys lost Connor Williams to the Miami Dolphins in the offseason. Their team is just not nearly as good as it was compared to last season. They lost some guys in offense and defense. They lost Leo Collins as well, to the Cincinnati Bengals. So I think they go offensive lineman here with a 24th pick overall. 25, I have the Buffalo Bills taking Andrew Booth Jr., the corner at Clemson. They could use corner. He's the best corner here available. Makes a lot of sense here for the Bills. I'm sure lots of Bills fans would be happy about this pick. I had this pick in my last mock here, and I'm going to stand by it. I have the Tennessee Titans taking Matt Corral, the quarterback of Ole Miss. Ryan Tannehill, to me, is a quarterback who you cannot depend on him at all. He's never going to take your team to the Super Bowl. And if you have a quarterback, and if you don't believe he can take you to the Super Bowl, you try to get rid of him and you try to find a replacement. And I think that's what they're going to do here by taking Matt Corral, the quarterback of Ole Miss. If it wasn't for injuries, I think, Matt Corral would be drafted much higher. Obviously he got hurt in the bowl game this past season. But I feel like, after this season, I feel like, the Titans might end up cutting or trading Tannehill, and they'll let Matt Corral be the starter in Tennessee. I know this is a very unpopular pick, but in my opinion, I love it. And I think I'm not for sure it's going to happen, but I think it needs to be talked about a little bit more as we head into the draft, with just 1 week away. 27 here, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking Texas A&M guard Kenyon Green. They lost Alex Cappa to the Cincinnati Bengals, and Ali Marpet retired. They could really use some, guard help heading into the 2022 season. So I have them taking Kenyon Green here. The Green Bay Packers, I had them taking Traylon Burks, the wide receiver from Arkansas, with the 28th pick overall. They could really use some wide receiver help, obviously. They just signed, Sammy Watkins not too long ago, like a week or so ago, but I don't really think it's going to make a much difference in their draft approach. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe they took George Pickens here, the wide receiver from Georgia as well. They like him quite a bit as well. But I think if they don't go wide receiver with the 22nd pick overall, they're definitely taking wide receiver with the 28th pick overall. 29 and 30 both belong to the Kansas City Chiefs. And with the 29th pick, I take Daxton Hill, the safety from Michigan. Tyrann Mathieu is not going to re-sign with the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like getting the best safety here available, one of the better defensive players here available, will be great for the Chiefs. And also with the 30th pick, I had them taking, George Pickens, the wide receiver from Georgia. They like Pickens a lot as well, just like I said with the Packers. But the Chiefs, they lost Tyreek Hill in the offseason with a crazy trade, by trading him to the Miami Dolphins. There's lots of talks that the Chiefs could possibly use both of these first-round picks and maybe trade up in the top 12 and get a guy like Chris Olave, Jameson Williams, or somebody like that. But I feel like getting, two team needs here with safety and wide receiver, and the fact that these players are some of the best players available here for Kansas City is a very, very nice selections here by the Kansas City Chiefs at 29 and 30. At 31, I had the Cincinnati Bengals taking cornerback from Florida, Kaiir Elam. I feel like this is a tremendous pickup here for Cincinnati. I've seen some mock drafts, had the Bengals trade back, some 4 or 5 spots back and still get Elam. I believe Mel Kiper had a mock draft not too long ago, having the Bengals trade back with the Jets, and, the Bengals getting Elam in the second. But I feel like Elam is probably the best cornerback here available. Maybe the Bengals trade back. Sam Howell is available here, and I feel like that could possibly, impact the Bengals trade back or not. Like I said last week, I feel like Sam Howell, if he's available at 31, I think the Bengals probably end up trading back because the quarterback-needy team might jump the Lions and try to get that fifth-year option for Sam Howell. I like this pick a lot here for Cincinnati. Elam is probably one of my favorite corners in the draft. Like I said, he's probably the best corner here. A great pickup here for the Bengals with the 31st pick overall. The final pick of the first round, I have the Detroit Lions taking quarterback from North Carolina, Sam Howell. This is a great pickup here for the Detroit Lions. If they're not sold on Sam Howell, I wouldn't be shocked if maybe they were to trade back. Maybe a team like the Seahawks or the Falcons maybe trade up and they get Sam Howell so they can get that fifth-year option. That's very, very big now with quarterbacks in the draft and everything. But this is a great pickup. One of my favorite draft picks here in this mock draft here with Detroit getting Sam Howell. I think he has potential. If he sat behind Jared Goff like half a season or a year or so, then took over for Detroit, I think he has potential to be a pretty nice quarterback with Detroit, especially given, they have a very nice offensive line and DeAndre Swift in the backfield. But overall, lots of, good selections here. In this, mock draft 3.0, if I had to pick some of my favorite picks here, I would definitely say Sam Howell to the Detroit Lions is one of my favorite ones. Kyle Hamilton, 10th overall pick to the New York Jets as well. I like both those picks a lot. Let me know what you think in the comments. That about does it for this video. If you're new to the channel or if you've seen my videos before, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time on the Sports Dude Hines Show.